You know they got that same name, but different point of views. Whichever one you choose, you can't lose. They got that same name, different point of views. Whichever one you choose, you can't lose. Keisha and Keshia,
knowledge, wisdom, and discernment. Keisha, you don't got it, you can get some if you heard them.
Keisha and Keshia,
knowledge, wisdom, and discernment.
Keisha,
you don't got it, you can get some if you heard them. We gon' laugh, have a good time. Just sit back and elevate your mind.
Welcome back to City Keisha and
Country Keisha.
It is episode number 4. We want to first give a great shout out thanks to all of our listeners. We set a goal, and I've been reading this book called The Circle Maker. It's pretty cool, but it talks about how just don't limit God. So when we started off saying, hey, we only want to get this by this amount or this by that, we have tripled that number. So keep subscribing, keep listening. We're working the kinks out. We take your feedback serious. But this week we want to challenge you that if you are a listener with us,
yes,
okay, we want you to hashtag us on Facebook or Instagram with your favorite part. And so we have our segments, and I'm going to kind of clue those segments in as we go through. And as we do that, we just want you to kind of like give us a little shout out, reply back, send us a text message. So we just want to know who our listeners are. And we want to thank you again for, tuning in.
All right, listeners, it's time for the recap of last week.
It is time for some recap.
Oh, boy. Side chicks, wives, and husbands. My phone was blowing up. My personal phone was blowing up about this. How about you, City Keisha?
It was, and I think, and somebody made a good point. They were like, we like the fact that you guys have these different views. I sat on one side of that fence. You sat on the other. And it wasn't that we didn't agree with each other's fence, but we just had different perspective.
Yes.
And I'm still holding true that the bottom line is, sisters, if you don't want karma to come back around at you, because, we go to retreats and we have girlfriendness and we all black girl magic, but then when it comes down to your little purse down there, you ready to sleep up, shack up with somebody else's dude.
Well, I'm going to hold true to mine, too, because I think the team should be the husband and wife team, not the sister team. I feel like husband and wives should be on the same team and making their marriage work. And let the side chicks be out there thirsty and don't get no type of water over here.
Well, I will tell you this. I was listening to something with Steve Harvey, and he said there are 2 types of cheaters. Meaningless cheating, which means that, guys just out here being wild out. And that I needed something and I had to go get it. So he says the side chicks fit into that. I needed something, I had to go get it. So those are relationships that last 6 months, a year, 10 years. Dude died and she show up and her black like, we've been together for 10 years type of stuff. But the bottom line is, I just really think that it's so important that as women, if you really are, because that's the thing that I can't get past. I get the dude side. I'm just speaking from the perspective of a woman. I cannot see myself looking you in your face as my girl, or somebody I may not even be acquainted with, knowing that this dude got somebody else. You're never going to get all of them. And when did it be okay to start settling for that 10% of that? What?
But it's some women that don't want all of them. They want him to stay your husband while they lay up with him. What? And the point I'm making is, it's some trifling women. We can't change triflingness.
Listen.
Hey, if it's a trifling, they trifling.
Listen, well, the daddy
You won't do it, I won't do it, but it's some women that will.
I'm just saying them daddy
But they
issues,
need a partner.
Well, yes, and those daddy issues and all that other stuff they got going on, I don't know. We can't fix the world, we get it, but we do have an opinion. So we really want you to respond to that. So which side, and I'm not sure any woman would just want to just agreeably be the side chick, even though Country Keisha think that there are some women who clearly...
They love it. They love it. They look for married men. That ring makes them excited. And it takes the man to say, no, thank you.
Okay, well, moving on.
I love my boo.
Girl, do I dare say this person's name?
Oh, don't say it, Keisha, but say it.
Bill Cosby.
Guilty. 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 3 times guilty.
God dog it, Bill.
And we brought it up, didn't we, Keisha?
Yes, and you made a good point. You said it don't matter if it was 1 or 50 women, but if it's one woman that he did it to, that's one too many.
That's one too many.
Bill, you can't say you gave that woman some Benadryl to make her relax. That's what he said.
And did she ask you for Benadryl?
No.
No, she didn't. And the sad part about this, and for the brothers, I've been reading Facebook and I've been hearing some of the stories. They're saying, white men get away with it. Listen, this ain't a white issue. This is not a black issue. This is a rapist issue. Let's keep it in perspective. I'm not standing behind any black man that want to rape any woman, no matter what color she is. So don't tell me to stand behind Bill Cosby. Period. And they told me let the verdict happen. Where the verdict has happened, and he was found what?
Guilty.
Well, and I'm gonna bring this up because I hear people say, but OJ was found what?
Innocent.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
And he cannot be tried again. So he cannot be tried again.
Right. He may not be innocent, but he was found not guilty.
He was found not guilty, and he cannot be tried again.
Okay. All right. We're going to keep it moving. So we're going to talk about Don't You Know No Good. Okay, we're trying a little something different. So this is our Don't You Know No Good section where we talk about politics, news, and pop culture. So what's up on the agenda first?
Saying goodbye to Barbara Bush.
Okay.
Girl, who was at that funeral?
Obama.
Everybody but DT.
Oh.
Everybody but your president.
Girl.
And guess what? Who all was happy he wasn't there?
I heard that Obama had Melania smiling.
Okay.
A little bit.
Everybody had Melania smiling but her husband.
Oh, God.
Did you see him trying to grab her hand earlier this week? She was like,
Get your life. Get your life. Get your life.
She was more happier next to our former president.
Yeah. Okay.
Than her husband.
Well, I want to tell you, there's another shooting in Florida.
Florida. What is wrong with you?
And these kids are marching and they're doing it, and it's getting to the point where literally, I mean, how many times you can only claim mental health so many times. You can only claim, just all these other things. I mean, but it's time for us.
What's the common denominator?
Them guns.
Thank you, girl.
Yeah.
The shooting that happened in Florida was again in school. The boy was shot in the ankle, and the shooter was apprehended. This is the problem. Our kids should not be fearful at school because of a gunman. Well,
absolutely. But I mean, the gun violence continues in Tennessee, not too far from where my child goes to school. So talk about that DJ Thomas is on.
I flipped Tennessee over.
What? But there was a guy who shot up the Waffle House with an AR-15, and they said he walked into the place bucket naked.
Okay, can I say this? What color was he?
Okay.
What color was this dude?
Listen, what color was the dude that tried to snatch the gun and burnt his hand? Who got him out of it? It was a black dude, and I was very proud of him. But there was a lady who said that he
call him white, though. Let's call out this shooter. He was white. Let's go and call him out. Because these mass shooters, we got years between a black mass shooter and a white mass shooter. They just, it's too frequent right now.
Here's the deal.
He shot how many? And every color of the person he shot was what color?
I get it, but
they were black.
But I'm just saying, with all the other shootings, I don't care what color you are. Nobody needs their life ended. Period.
No, but
no foolishness. So I'm not gonna bring race into this because I just feel like it's a gun issue, and the guns are not black or white. Those guns are assault weapons, and they should be banned because there's no use for them other to be destructive. And so just sticking to the honor of that. I don't care who's holding it. If it's a black man holding it, a white man holding it. The problem is that these guns should not be out here. And we have children that are in our community. We have people that are families and stuff. And you don't want to go. I mean, how many times you and I have been to the Waffle House? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, sister. Hold on, city. Keisha, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You don't care about the color. The problem is white men are killing black people. Let's start with the church in Charlotte, in North Carolina. There was a white man that walked into a black church and killed black people. At the Waffle House, it was a white man that walked into a Waffle House and killed black people.
But the bottom line
is that white men are finding that it's easy to take our lives.
Okay, and
they're finding that our lives doesn't matter.
My issue is that as a human being, everybody deserves. I don't care who you are. I don't want anybody to go home to an empty house or go home having to bury their dead. I don't care what color you are. So if he walked in there and killed black people, he walked in there and killed Chinese people, I would feel the same way. We need to do something about these guns.
Well, I feel you on the guns. What I'm saying is there's a racial issue here. Why do white men feel that it's okay to kill black men? And why do police feel that it's okay to bring in the white shooters? Well, they're not gunning not one of these shooters down.
Well, there was a lady who saw him 4 days before that at a Publix. And she said that he was walking in the Publix with saying racial slurs and just going all in. So and she was racial. Like, nobody.
Hold on,
this is the part that I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah, I get you.
That she and her daughter end up walking out because she feared for their life. And so I'm not saying that he might not have been driven by racial motivation. But my whole thing is, that guy who went in there in Broward and
Parkland
and killed those kids, them children wasn't white. I mean, wasn't all black. You know what I'm saying? So it was still. Can you imagine having to go to Fort Walton Beach High School where your son attends and that happened? I know you're always talking about me saying
that. Telling people my kid go to school and told you this is not me. Look, this is me and you talking about.
All right, well, let's move on to the next subject. The next subject is the woman arrested for asking for utensils again at a Waffle House.
Black lady. I am so, white America, are you listening? Just because we say something to you and our voice might be raised, that does not give you cause to be scared of us. Why did the police think that it was appropriate for him to arrest her for asking for utensils at a Waffle House? If that scared you, then go under a rock.
Well, and here's my other thing with that. I think it's a lot of times when let's deal with the issue, just the perspective. I'm serious, just the perspective that happens, because I feel like as a black female, you know, when I first moved to the South, coming from the North, we're straightforward. We're straightforward people. You get it done. You say what you're going to say. And then I felt like when I first got here, people would take that and get offended by it or feel a little thrown back or threatened by it.
Because we're in the South, we like courtesy.
Yeah, I'm almost 6 feet tall, and I can get very passionate about the things that I like to say, but that don't make me not loving or caring about anything.
Yes.
So I don't really want to drag it into something where you would be an extremist about all white or all black people, whatever. But I do want to say that when you think about humankind and just let my character speak for itself before you start, you know, making these assumptions about me. And that's always been an issue with our people.
Well, and that's the problem
with people of America, period.
Yeah, and that's the problem that me and you are discussing right now. Just because someone called the police doesn't mean that there was an issue. And when the police get there and assess it, they shouldn't have been escalated.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have called the police on a lady asking for utensils.
Well, and this is what happened. She asked if there were utensils in the bag, and the person told her it was going to cost her 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever. And she said, I was in here the other day and I didn't pay. Why is it that? And she said, let me speak to your district manager or whatever.
Correct.
And she was there waiting on them, but they had already called the police on her. So the police was thinking that she wasn't Xing them. And she was like, I was waiting on them to give me the district number. So I get it.
What you get? Tell it, sister.
Okay,
tell it.
We weren't there, so we don't know how irate or what tone it was or whatever. But again, it does not call
for the police,
right.
And they should have been charged. You using our taxpayers' dollars for somebody asking for utensils. That's not what 911 is for. Mm-hmm. Tell me, 911 is not to answer the question of a customer complaint. What are you doing? Do we know how to use 911? Your life should have been in danger when you called 911, and it should have been an emergency.
911 on Melania Trump, because that chick said that Trump's wife, Melania, it was a better first lady than Michelle Obama.
Who said that?
Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, you girl, don't call it on Melania, call it on Kelly.
I'm sorry, on Kellyanne Conway.
And she need that mental illness. Did she get that? She need that psychiatrist.
Listen,
real.
That chick actually, on top of that, I mean, she's interesting, but you know,
interesting. That's a new word. City Keisha, you gonna use that for? I think you can use another adjective.
All right. Hey, did you know 22-year-old Jamal Green has entered a race for the Chicago's next mayor?
I did see that, and I am so excited about our youth taking part in our government. Mm-hmm. I wish more people would take part in our government. It's our government. It's for the people, by the people. Mm-hmm. If you're not involved, that's why you get what you get.
Well, and there's some people that saying he needs to start with another office because
some people need to shut the hell up
and work himself up, and they feel like he needs to work his way up. And the reason
and
why
that's the problem
is because, of course, other people say, okay, well, that same thing happened with our presidency. So if he's setting the tone where you don't ever have to have served or been an attorney
or have experience,
kind of have experience, and you could be the president of the United States, what's wrong with you being the mayor of Chicago?
Okay, and that's not the president. At least he's on the ground and he's at that age where he's teachable. Let's talk about being teachable. Donald Trump isn't teachable. This man is in his 70s. You can't teach him nothing. He is dumb as a sack of bricks.
All right,
I'm sorry.
We're going to move on to politics. Meek Mills is out of jail.
Hey, free Meek Mills. Let's go.
But is he a civil rights leader?
He got to be a civil rights leader. Well, but I feel like the system did him wrong.
Okay.
So I think free Meek Mills. Let's be excited. Come on, Meek Mills.
All right.
Now, I don't know what you're going to do with this freedom. Let's pray you do something with it.
Hey, I heard K. Michelle is getting her butt implants out.
Oh, that's why I didn't know why she was up.
Yes, she said it's making us sick.
The way they look, they made me sick.
It was pretty, yeah.
That ass looked like it was an alien. I was like, who put that alien in her ass?
Well,
yeah, we for stomachs anyway. Ain't that right, Keisha?
No.
City Keisha.
I told you, if I had the opportunity, baby, I would go and get a tummy tuck. I would. I'm just sorry.
But you ain't get no booty implants.
I ain't getting butt implants.
Okay.
I got a little stomach. I'm working with a little something back there.
You ain't got shit back there. I'm sorry.
You ain't talking about nobody. Please, Jesus, help us all right now.
Hey, I ain't say I had nothing. I got belly.
What about Cardi B? Stripper turned reality TV show turned platinum selling Grammy nominee. She hot right now.
Well, let me tell you about Cardi B. All I can say is you go, girl. She black magic. She black girl magic.
Yeah.
Hey, stripper don't define you. she used it to get exactly what she needed.
Hey, you see those Braxton sisters at each other too.
Who?
The Braxton sisters.
Girl, shit.
Tamar said they had just putting her husband through the ringer and giving him a bad image. Her mama got on TMZ and said some stuff and all this, and she was just don't even want to be bothered with him. I was watching one episode. She rolled right past us like she didn't even exist.
Tamar has attitude. She have an attitude problem.
She cut off all her hair. She needed to. Who was that years ago who cut all her hair off and everybody was like...
Britney Spears.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. But my thing with Tamar is you keep your mama and your sisters in your business. That's the problem. Keep it, and you got a reality show. So you don't have no private business. Keep your business out of everybody else's business, and then we won't have to worry about what other people are saying.
All right, now I wanted to talk about something. I came across this, and I was very excited about it, okay? They were talking about men over 50 that is still turning heads.
Samuel Jackson. Is Samuel Jackson on that list?
Oh, no.
He turned my head.
Okay. But I will tell you, there are some that are really... Denzel Washington.
Hot.
President Obama.
Very hot. Because he's smart. I'm sorry, I like smart men.
Okay, Dennis Haysbert, who is the All-State guy with that deep voice.
Oh, yeah. Hot.
Yeah.
Did I say
Don Cheadle. He's like a weird, kind of like, what do they call it? Exotic.
Not hot.
Okay, all right. What about Lenny Kravitz? He's over 50. Blair Underwood.
Very hot.
Okay. Richard Roundtree. Richard Roundtree
is a nice gray hair silver fox. Peter Thomas. I don't see Peter Thomas on there.
Peter Thomas is.
Peter Thomas is hot.
Yeah, see, you think so?
Sorry. Peter Thomas can get it.
Okay. Oh God, Michael Beach, Courtney Vance. He's who's his wife?
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yeah.
He's no.
Glenn Truman, the guy who played, he always plays like the daddy roles are real cool. I can't think of it. Okay.
It ain't Samuel Jackson.
Oh girl, please with Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson is hot.
How about Ronnie DeVoe and his wife are doing what is it called? Having a Married for Life walk.
Okay, I follow them on Instagram. I see the twins, and they are so freaking cute.
Yeah, everybody says that about their twins. Well, they having this Married for Life walk, and their focus is on strengthening marriages and opening up understanding.
Hey, that's what we're doing here. Hey, we need to get on that because City Keisha and Country Keisha, we trying to strengthen marriages.
Yeah, maybe let's sit on the sideline and do a little talk show. We might need to reach out to them.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our to be or not to be section.
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be. And basically, we take someone who's married, City Keisha, and someone who's divorced, happily divorced, married Keisha, and we talk about different topics. Country Keisha, I'm sorry. And we talk about different topics. Well, here's this this is a topic that has been brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing. And we started with it the first week. And there were people who actually tuned in on the second week and had to go back and listen to it. And it is on 20 seconds to 20 minutes.
What you talking about, girl? Because everybody keep talking. What y'all talking about? Explain it.
I'm gonna let the expert explain it, because that is where the comment came from. We have a very dear friend, sister, who is a marriage and family therapist and a sex therapist, and soon to be Dr. Stephanie Walthour, and she wants to clear that up first, and then we got some questions for her. So y'all, welcome, Miss Stephanie.
Welcome our friend, our sister.
Hey guys, thank you ladies so much for inviting me on. This podcast has been so entertaining, to say the least, but I think also so strengthening, like you said, of marriages and relationships, and so you guys are doing a great job. As you guys said, I am a licensed therapist, so I see a lot of clients that come in and out of our offices.
Do they be coming in there, they be trying to like show you how they be doing it?
Well, no, I don't want to see body parts.
Okay.
And I don't want to show you mine.
Do they come in there? Okay, so have you ever like somebody said something and you looked at them like, gave them that look like, did they just say that? Okay, I know.
You're not shocked. You're not shocked anymore.
It's not a shock factor. I think some of the things, I work with a lot of the LGBTQ, and so some of my clients that come in that are possibly transgender, and things of that nature, that may shock me because I'm dealing with some military men that are big and, very masculine and beer guts and things of that nature, and then they talk to me about, how they are struggling with their gender identity. Okay. So sometimes that is shocking. I think that's been the most shell-shocking for me some days.
Okay, so in the news today, Janelle Monáe came out as pansexual. Tell us what that means, because I might be pansexual.
Girl.
Well, pansexual is when...
Really? Wait, first thing you said, I've never even heard of that.
Yes.
Okay, so are they going to add a P? So is it going to be LGBT?
Well, if you really...
Q, I just found out Q means
queer.
No, questionable.
No, it's queer.
It's
no,
queer.
Girl, it's queer.
No, somebody said that if you're questioning your sexuality. Shut up. That's my opinion.
It's queer. No, it ain't. It's not opinion.
Okay,
it's queer.
So it is actually a lot of acronyms that can go with
it. Are they adding a P?
So it is possibly already a P in there. If you Google it, you'll see it'll be LGBTQB, ABCDA, Z, and a double A.
This give me a double A. She gave me a double A.
Change it to human sexuality.
Okay. Let us tell us what is it, pan?
So pansexual, that is more so, it'll be very similar to what you may understand as bisexuality, but it's more so, let's add in transgender into that. So you are connecting with anybody. You are connecting with their spirit, with their mind. With
not their sexual parts.
Not their sexual parts. So we want to be in a very gender fluid type of community.
Keisha, I find you hot.
Girl,
you guys can only see these two right now.
Wait a minute. So if I'm pansexual, I'm not having sex.
No, you are having sex
with your mind.
No, you are having sex
everywhere.
You. But you are having sex with anybody. You can have sex with a man. You can have sex with a female.
Woman.
You can have sex with a man who identifies as a female. You can have sex with a lesbian. You can have sex with a transgender male.
Okay, so back it up then. So people have been doing that anyway.
Yes,
but they didn't
we have been identifying that as bisexuality. But there are some people that have been left out of that kind of...
So would you be considered bisexual if your husband comes out the closet and say he's gay and y'all stay together?
I think at that point you'll be considered pansexual. But once again, I can be corrected. So if there's anyone that wants to call in and correct me, please do. Because
please don't call in.
I am still learning about that as well, because there are so many. But I think the one piece I'll get here and we'll move on. It's just being open. What you do in your bedroom from 9 to 9:30 is none of my business.
Girl.
It doesn't change.
Why you choose 9 to 9:30?
Well,
you get 30 minutes.
It's no 20 minutes.
It don't even go down to about 11.
Well, listen, I got kids. So, Hey, babe. But listen. But from 9 to 9:30, that doesn't change your character. It doesn't change what you do in your community. It doesn't change the type of person that you are. And a lot of times we focus on who you're having sex with or what type of sex you're having.
Preach!
And it has nothing to do with that. So all of those different letters, I just want us to be open. Just be open to just accepting everybody for who they are. But it's really none of your business.
All right. So there's 20 seconds, 20 minutes. Get to it, Steph. Get it. Tell us.
20 minutes versus 20 seconds.
Okay.
So I love my girlfriends, and we sit back and have some crazy talks about all kinds of stuff. And one of the conversations we were having one night over some great wine.
Yes. Wine.
But one of the conversations we were having is why are guys just so much more into sex? And so we think about the amount of time it takes for them to be aroused. For a woman, it's going to take her longer to be aroused. 20 minutes? And I take...
It was just a number.
So,
shut up.
So I'm sorry, Country Keisha, that's my girl.
But... Wait a minute, hold on. Stay focused on that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's my girl. However, she did misquote me slightly. It can take some women, and there are some articles that I would love to leave with you guys that talks about the amount of time that it takes for arousal. But some of the average women, it can take her 20 minutes to start to get that lubrication to naturally flow. However, with some new studies that are being shown and out there, it's saying about 12 minutes. So even some people may say it may not take me that long. But let's talk about what that arousal really is, okay?
Bing! So let's do it, Steph.
That is let's take oral sex out the picture.
Okay. All right.
So if someone is
wait a minute, let's put it back in. Now
if someone is not giving you oral sex and they are just stimulating the clitoris, if they are just so basically fingering you and your brain, as women, guess what? What are we thinking about? We're thinking about the dirty clothes over there in the corner. We're thinking about what time we got to get up in the morning.
The baby knocking on the door.
We thinking about the baby
y'all doing?
Crying. Hold on.
Okay.
We're thinking about, all of these things that start to flood through our brain. So, and when we can finally cut our brain off and that actually feels good. It may take us a couple seconds, a couple minutes for our body for it to go to our brain that, hey, something is happening down there and it actually feels good. And I'm starting to enjoy this. Let me be clear. Okay. When you are upset with your husband and he still wants some and you're like, I'm going to give him some anyway, it may take you a couple
angry
moments.
Sex is not good.
But it is good. But it
get arousal.
Takes you. And what is arousal? Arousal is the blood flow that's pushing forth on the clitoris. So it takes the brain a moment to kind of click in, and then all of these things start to flow all down the body. The nipples start to become erect, all this stuff.
So here's the deal. So what I'm saying is, you're saying that, and I'm not trying to generalize, but I may be, that women cannot come home from work with kids in tow, drop them off and say, come on in this bathroom and give me 5 minutes.
Absolutely she can. Okay. But let me tell you how she's doing that, because she thought about that on the way home.
Girl.
So that was already in her head. So guess what? Your clock already started.
Thank you.
But it's the same thing with the dudes. When he's thinking about it in his head, his clock is starting. What you think you're about? Hush it up.
Absolutely. It does. But it may take us a little bit longer. Now, let me tell you. And this is what I suggest to all women. Lubrication. Different type of lubes and things like that to get us in the mood. Because guess what? We want to have sex. And we love it when we finally get to that point.
It feels good.
And so if you can find something and so this is what we talk about, minimizing that time that it takes to get us to that peak arousal so that we can really get into it. So use the lubrications. Don't be ashamed, ladies. Go buy your KY jelly. I don't really agree with that one, but what
do you agree with?
Well, I like the different passion party ones and stuff like that.
You're just saying some lubricant.
So some lubricant. Find your Pure Romance or Passion Party lady and buy some of her different lubricants and those type of things. I mean, it really just immediately speeds up that process. So whether you are 7 minutes, whether you are 12, hell, whether you're 30 seconds. You want something for you to immediately jump in. And you have a question that you guys were asking about, just what should you do different? I think men want to see you initiating sex. You know,
but all right. So let's be real honest though, because I mean, with being a sex therapist, I know you help a lot of women of varying
and men,
varied cultures. Okay, but I think a lot of times the biggest thing between white women and black women is that for black women, we've always been made for it to seem like it was like, oh, you don't
dirty,
do that, blah, 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 blah. So then are comfortable, for us to feel comfortable doing those type of things and not feel like,
Keisha,
I like that.
Keisha, you are hitting it on the head. You talked about this last week in your podcast of what should you talk about? That is absolutely right. I mean, let's think about it. If you were to walk in your room right now and see your son masturbating, what would you say? Don't you do that. That's nasty. That we should not teach our children that this is nasty.
Close the door and leave.
It is a private manner. When we start to shame our kids, when we start to shame sexuality, when you tell a teenager not to do something, what they're going to do? They're going to do more of it.
Yes.
And then they're going to do it and they're going to hide it. And so you're right. The way that we have been groomed and the way that we have grown up, that is nasty. You don't do that. I'm a church girl myself. And one thing I always learned was don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex.
It's bad.
And then when you got married, it was sex, 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 sex. It was like, where is the balance?
Okay.
Where is the balance?
Mentally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to, one of my girlfriends was getting married for the second time and went to a little bachelorette thing. And a woman showed up with this suitcase and she had, I want to say, a good 30 dildos. Mm-hmm. And she did a blowjob class. Like, she had a list and there was like 30 something different ways to do blowjobs.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the first thing a brother say, especially in college and stuff. Sisters don't be giving blowjobs.
Yeah. And what is wrong with it?
Dirty.
And so it's dirty, but you enjoy oral sex for the woman. And so let's really talk about the different type of, I don't want to go too far. I don't know, who's listening to this. But even we're talking about,
we put sensors on
but even when we're talking about different type of lubrication, for a woman, there's way more secretion that is coming out.
Yes.
For a man that you are just dealing with basically with skin. So what is more unsanitary if we want to use that?
Wow.
So when...
so you're saying when a man is giving fellatio, he's getting way more liquids than when a woman gives a blowjob.
Absolutely.
But that whole swallow thing?
Who? What?
So
you done went too far.
See, she wasn't ready.
Nobody said that about swallowing.
This is that girl. Normally she'd be on it. But I'm just saying, I'm saying these things because it's like, I'll be honest with myself. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? But then there are women that say that's good protein. And I'm going, what are we talking about right now?
It's personally your preference.
But
we don't have it's your preference.
But they say they swallow. I mean, so why women don't?
So I think that is just another stage of enjoyment in your sexual relationship and where you are. I think that's another stage of what you're doing in between 9 and 9:30. Okay. And that is none of
your business.
In that 9 and 9:30.
9 and 9:30.
I don't know. Okay, so then answer me this.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is they're interested in each other. Okay, and should they have that discussion about sex and those?
Absolutely.
Every discussion, yes.
Absolutely.
Communicate.
I think that is so important. I think it's even important when we talk about safe sex. So what do are you tested? That is becoming a new kind of culture to go get tested together, to share our test results with one another, and then to have mind-blowing sex that night, because we know we are free, we know we are clear. We need to encourage that. We really, really need to encourage that. Now, we do need to encourage safe sex and condoms, right? And definitely want to do that. But yes, you should talk about it. You should talk about what I enjoy, but you have to know what you enjoy first.
Preach.
So can you tell me, leaving us with a couple of things, what 3 things probably should our mothers have talked to us about sex that they did? Like if you have sons, like all of us in here have boys. I don't know why all of my real close friends, we just full a bunch of boys. But if there were some girls, and say we did have girls, like what things do you think is important for them to know?
I think number 1, I would talk about masturbation.
Hallelujah!
I think masturbation is important. I think it's important to...
Really? It's the main thing.
I think it's important to experience, but you don't understand, City Keisha, how many people don't have orgasms. There are so many women that I meet that don't have orgasms.
They don't know what they like.
but not even not knowing what you like, you don't even know how to get there.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know how to get there. And so one vibrator on speed 2, right on the clitoris can get you there really quickly.
Okay.
And they need to know what that intense feeling feels like.
You're saying if you got a teenage boy who you clearly know is in the bathroom too long or got a bunch of towels under his bed, what's happening? Then you should encourage your daughter to do the same?
Yes. Yes. And that's country Keisha. Yes.
I don't know if I will encourage them to do the same, but I would talk about the normalcy of it, because this is a normal part of child development. So they are doing it whether we like it or not, or they're thinking about it whether we like it or not. So just talking about how normal it is. So they're like, well, maybe I will go try it.
It's interesting.
Okay. So then, how do you feel about people who may have been deprived? Are those type of people some of the people that you see who, like you said, who were deprived of just the natural love of it? Is it them having issues with just, like how they say sometimes women have mommy issues, daddy issues or whatever because their daddy wasn't around, blah, 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 blah. But if there was nobody there to really teach them the natural, because a lot of times kids learn stuff just from their friends.
Yeah.
And then they experience things and it could be very traumatic.
Yeah.
And then it could end them up at a therapist.
Yeah.
How do they get past that? Because I really feel like our girls we don't talk to them.
Keisha, I don't know if I cannot say that we have to go and talk to our girls about sex and how to do it and where to put the vibrator and what you should be feeling.
Okay.
I cannot stand on that side of the table and say that. But what I can say when it comes to people that have unhealthy sexual relationships, there is usually some type of trauma. And then other times we just don't know, and so trying to learn, even with your partner, being open to learning with your partner, but you have to trust them. So what does that mean? That means I shouldn't be jumping in the bed with every Tom, Dick, Joe, and Harry, but I should trust this person that I can be vulnerable. That hell, I can do some crazy stuff in between 9 and 9:30 because I know
you're in this 9 and 9:30 girl.
But I know that they're going to protect me. I know that they love me. I know that they are gaining pleasure from this just as much as I'm gaining pleasure from this. I think it's important. And so as a mom, maybe to even back up to that, I will talk about, your self-worth, and making sure before you enter into this type of agreement with somebody that there is some love there, that there is some history there, that there's some trust there.
Okay.
Country Keisha got to add something.
That ain't no country Keisha. Shut up.
Country Keisha, hold on. No, I said I got to add something. For the girls and for the, I don't have a daughter, but being a daughter, one of the things I found for us is that the shame of wanting to have sex or that it feels good, we need to get rid of that shame and make it comfortable for girls to be okay with masturbating. Masturbating eliminates the laying up with anybody so you can feel love, or laying up with anybody because it feels good. Because this is the thing, sex feels good. Even when you're doing it by yourself, it feels good. So we need to encourage girls to understand what they like by themselves before they include other people in, and then they end up doing things just because it feels good.
And let me tell you this, just to piggyback on that, the guys want you to initiate. They want you to be into sex. They want you to enjoy it. And a lot of times, even as married women, you guys, you may sit on that other side of the it doesn't take you long, but there are so many women that sit on there and wait on their husband. They're kind of horny. And they want to do something.
Married women like it.
And they're waiting on them to tap that leg. But why can't you turn over and tap the leg? Why can't you turn over and give fellatio? Why can't you turn over and just jump on it? You can, but
married women, you can.
But we have to be empowered to do that. Do it. Your guy wants that. And I'm going to do this one last thing before you leave out.
Okay.
You guys were talking last week about the side chicks versus the married chicks.
Go ahead. Speak on it.
This is one of the differences, I think, because the side chick don't give a damn. And she jumping right on it first thing in the morning, if they stay there. And so you want to make sure that your mate is sexually satisfied. Are you sexually satisfying your mate? Are you giving him enough sex? sex. A lot of our men, their love language is physical touch. Are you being physical with them?
Well, okay, but hold on. Side chicks ain't cleaning, they ain't cooking, they ain't taking care of no children,
Listen,
so they can jump on it. That's the problem that we're having. Women out here doing everything, and then you go and jump on it.
Absolutely.
And side chicks like, hey, let her cook and clean and take care of the babies, and I'll give them some sex.
But let me tell you this. Let me tell you how many women that feel like sex is another chore. That sex is another something on your checklist at night. You don't put the kids to bed. You done did homework. You don't went to work. You don't wash the dishes.
How do you avoid that? How do you get past that? Because that's the thing. Like, I mean, being admittedly so, being a married woman, and you're married as well.
Divorce.
Okay, but at some point, it's like, how do you do that? How do you make it not a chore? Because you enjoy it, you love it, you want it the same way, but then it turns into that because a lot of times you don't feel appreciated.
Absolutely, and this is what goes back to your guy. This is what goes back to where he appreciates you, where he says, man, you kicked ass today. God, you hold us down. Man, I appreciate you. And don't go in there and wash them dishes just on Wednesday when you want to meet me from 9 to 9:30. No, wash them dishes a couple other days when you just want to appreciate me. But even on that, I think it goes back to the piece of masturbation. Because guess what? You want that orgasm tonight. And you don't really want it from, Billy Bob over here. I call him Billy Bob. But you don't want it from Billy Bob
breathing on top of you.
You want it from your mate. Like, and when you have that intimacy in a relationship, you want to connect with them. Yes, you are tired, but when they have just made you feel like a queen all day long, when they sent you that text message at work and was just like, I can't wait to see you tonight. I got a bottle of wine as soon as we get home. You're beautiful. I appreciate the mom that you are. Okay. Let me tell you something.
He getting it. He giving him some.
That's when those 20 minutes start to decrease.
Yes.
That's when it is when you are in that car and you cannot wait to get inside the house. You put them kids. Y'all want to know why my kids go to bed at 6?
Okay.
Because 9:30, baby.
9 o'clock to 9:30 is going down.
Thank y'all for having me.
Well, we thank you, for coming out. We, of course, going to want her to come back again. She is experienced. She's been working hard. I mean, this sister got 2 little boys at home, her husband. She's she's like relocating and doing some things, but she's like, she on her game. She be doing her stuff. And so look out for her. She'll be back in the Atlanta area. So as she's building her business and doing the things that she's doing, I want you guys to just, reach out to support it. If you need to talk to her further, just hit us up on Instagram or Twitter or on Facebook, and we'll definitely connect you with her, especially if you're going to be in that area. Because tell us where you are.
So you guys can reach me on Facebook, Stephanie Walthour, licensed marriage and family therapist. Very, very simple. I'm on there. I have a page. I talk on there all the time. Love to hear from you.
Yes.
And we're also connected to our
we will. We'll link it to our podcast because she's the truth, baby. And if you didn't get nothing out of what she said, I know I got out of here. I need to masturbate more. And
yeah, let's go further. City Keisha and Country Keisha out here trying to help y'all relationship. Y'all don't understand. We know y'all don't know what y'all doing. We done brought in a sex therapist to get y'all popping. So if the husbands don't know what to do, our girl Stephanie done told them what to do. If the wives don't know what to do, our girl Stephanie done told them what to do. And the side chick, sit y'all ass down.
Right. So we're going to move right into our segment on Dear Daughter-in-Law. And I think our daughter-in-laws need to take some of these messages as well. Right. And know, all men can change and will change, but there's only one they'll change for. So if you really think that, just these women out here raising these girls, come on. We got to represent. We got to link them up. Back in the day in different countries, they used to arrange those marriages. You will I'm willing my daughter.
Thank God we ain't doing that no more.
I know he comes from good stock. Cause you was talking about they don't know nothing about automobiles. What you
girl? My boys, I said, dear daughter-in-law, they don't know nothing about automobiles. Oh, they don't know nothing. They don't know how to change the oil. They don't even know how to barely put gas in it.
All right. Well, that's not all sons, but we need to work on that. All right. In our Hey Black Child Moment in Black History section, we wanted to just talk a little bit about old Kanye to the West.
Good Lord.
Kanye.
I'm sorry. I just renamed him. I renamed him to Kanye.
Kanye?
He Kanye because he a damn coon.
You just showed out. Well, the problem that I have is a quote from James Baldwin, and he once said, that to be black and conscious in America is to walk around in a constant state of rage. And to think that he wrote that years ago and it's starting to come back around with the police brutality, with how black people are treated in the community.
The president.
We got to really start doing some things differently. And I definitely don't think that Kanye is helping the cause with how he is actually addressing, I guess, his return to social media. He made some very derogatory comments about slavery being a trend.
That come from somebody who ain't been enslaved. Hey, if you think it's a trend, go ask your ancestors what it was like to be enslaved.
Right.
Like it was fashionable.
Yeah, and I mean, you
That's
can even
ignorant.
speak to those two things in the same. I mean, that makes me rageful just to think that here he is, a black male. He's raising 3 biracial children where he has the opportunity to give them both sides because their mom is white and their dad is black, and he's not taking that too seriously, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Kanye, I'm going to have to say...
Move out of Chicago. Hey, you're not from Chicago. Chicago disown you. I'm speaking for City Keisha. And the South don't want your ass. I don't know where you're going. I say death to Kanye.
Okay, so yes, country Keisha. Let's do it. All right, so let me let you talk about your financial piece this week. You wanted to talk about investing your money and building your personal wealth. What you got going on this week, Keisha?
Well, I say we've got this thing now where we are not building our personal wealth. And that means after you pay all your bills, what is your net worth? You know, we have money set aside, but we still have credit and we still owe people. Once you paid everybody, how much do you have left? That means, do you have a profit or are you at a loss? And people don't know that. So what we need to do is start building our personal wealth. And it goes back to that mindless spending that we were talking about last week, that you're very mindful of what you spend your money and how you spend your money. And being an African American from the country, I've learned that I don't like to spend my money with people who don't appreciate my blackness.
Yep. Stephanie is still with us, and she wanted to kind of chime in. What you got, Steph?
My husband is a really, really good financial advisor, does stocks and all that kind of stuff. But one of the just small pieces of that we always talk about is the communication about it. How many of you talk to your family just about their credit score?
Yeah. Talk about it.
How many of you talk to them just about loans, you know, like, or credit card debt? Like, do we have those conversations with one another?
It's a dirty secret.
I think that it's in the same box as sex. It's this box that's up under the bed, along
there
with
you
that,
go,
along with
City
that
Keisha.
cousin that they keep in the basement. You know, black folks. Okay, so all those things are things we don't talk about, and we need you, girl. Okay, maybe in the city we did that. In the country,
but we have no basement.
In the city, you always had that one cousin, uncle, somebody who wasn't wrapped too tight. You didn't have the money to send them to where they needed to be, so everybody just kept them in Momo's house in the basement.
Yeah,
and as long as you didn't rattle them up or give them too much to drink, you know. But I agree with you. Like, and I want to say one thing, and I want to thank you for that. Like, you have really been making me think a little more on my budget and how I spend my money. And, you know, some people are just givers, and there are people who will do anything, and that's just me naturally. And it can put me in a place sometimes where I'm not thinking about it. And I was talking to my brother-in-law because, you know, starting my business, I want to build up my own clothing line, and he was like, hey, you know, if you want me to invest in you, I need you to understand that I'm investing in you. Don't worry about what anybody else. Until you can get some black in your name, you know, and not being red and can earn something, you can't give to nobody. You need to be building what you're doing. So I want to get out of debt and not owe anybody, no credit cards or anything like that. My credit score is pretty good. I mean, but it's just, like I said, because I pay my bills and stuff on time. But I am extended, and I need to do better at doing that. And
that's why you got me, girl.
Listen, girl. Listen, there was 2 or 3 of them last month. I was like, hey, they go, girl. So I thank you for that. So I hope that encourages other people to do it.
Well, and the problem is that black people don't understand our spending power. We spend so much money in this country that we don't understand that we have power. And instead of putting that money in someone else's pocket and building up their wealth, we've got to learn how to build our own wealth.
YouTube show you that with all the hair products and stuff that these women be coming up with. I'm like, they be okay. All right, we're gonna move on the education piece. How effective is your parenting style? And you okay? And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I was looking at something with Will and Jada, and Will made a comment that maybe his parenting approach is why his son is off the chain right now. And I want to say that it's constantly evolving. And 2 things that I think that people do. Sometimes we have extremists where people are so struck down on their kids, on controlling every move, everything
Stop
they
talking
do.
about me, girl.
Where
Stop
the kid
talking about me,
doesn't
girl.
have any autonomy. They can't express themselves. They can't do the things that they need to do. So as a result, those kids end up being very recluse when it comes down to like just being expressive and living up to their full potential. Then you have those who parents are so free that the kids just doesn't have any control, any self-control, and they have no limits. There's nothing, no boundaries. And so I'm saying you have to think about your parenting style. Please understand, like I told a kid one time, they were real upset about something. I said, now think about this. If your brother's 3 years old, do you expect him to do your algebra problems? He's like, no, Miss Keshia, why? I said, because you know that that's their limits. And kids that are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's a reason why there's developmental stages. Because there's certain things they can be exposed to, certain things they can do, certain things they can be. So you as a parent, it's your responsibility to know when to start challenging them a little bit, pushing back a little bit, giving them their space a little bit. Because one thing about it is you can't make your kid be you or live the life that you thought you were going to live. Because everybody is different. So sometimes you have to be there to support them and at the same time encourage them, sometimes push them, sometimes discipline them. So
sometimes put them out.
Well, and what is your parenting style? Because I think that's the biggest thing. We don't evaluate that enough. Because we fall back on how we were raised and we fall back on how our husbands were raised or people we see or watching blogs or whatever, when really in your home, you should know so much about your kid that you're like, you know what? I know this kid is shy and they're quiet, but I got to be able to put them in these contests where they can speak a little bit more. Not because I'm trying to make them uncomfortable, but because I'm trying to grow them in that area so that they never know when opportunity they have to do that. They could be excellent, at something and might have to get in front of people and talk, and nobody really understands that.
That's why you're there to encourage that.
Right. And I know that there was times when DJ Thomas promised you didn't want to go to, speak at this and didn't want to do this and didn't want to do that. But I encouraged him. He had to volunteer. He had to be a part of speaking engagements. He had to go and, and just
tortured that
everything.
Boy.
But it made him who he is today, and as he's growing into manhood, it's certain things that he was like, hey, Mom, I didn't like that. Or, hey, Mom, okay, I'll do that again. And it's exposing him to it. But what is your parenting style?
I'm going to step in on that parenting style because I'm a parent. I have a problem with, and the problem is Will and Jada are raising their kids. Nobody is in jail. Nobody got random babies, right?
I don't see how that's appropriate.
No, it is. Because even though their parenting style is different, they're not raising hooligans.
Okay, but the thing about it is you cannot compare an extreme negative to how healthy your kids are. Because, hold on, just because they're not doing those things, to sit and have a conversation with them kids are not healthy. You don't have to be doing the extreme. You got to be out here murdering and killing people for you not to be healthy. They're not healthy. Well, so hold on. And that's the thing. So when you sit here and you talk about your parenting style, don't talk about the extreme, how these kids are not doing that. Because my kid is not doing that either. But at the same time, he needs to be a healthy, living being in this society and contributing to it in a positive way. Not worrying about the things he shouldn't be doing, but worrying about things he needs to be doing to be a contributor to the environment. And that's one thing I don't like about kids. Well, at least he not. No, it's not. At least he not. Whatever. What is his? So we can do that all day long. But what is his purpose? What are we driving him to do? He not doing all that. But he laying up in your house and ain't doing nothing. He not doing all that. But every time you turn around, he's saying something. Irate. I think their son had some stuff going on. He was pretty just way out there. Well, my point is, just because he's not out killing and stealing and doing that, he still is not a healthy, productive individual to the serving his purpose the way he should.
Okay, so I heard you. The problem is that we have so many unproductive kids that we are giving this, my son this, and your son got 8 babies by 20 mamas, and you trying to figure out how you gonna feed them and who gonna take care of them. There is an extremeness, because we see the other side of when the parents they so proud of their sons and they ain't doing nothing.
I love you, Keshia, but we're gonna let you stick to the financial part of that. Because I think I made my point. Please check. I just want to challenge you this week to just look at your parenting style, especially if you have little kids, because, that's when they're the most impressionable. Even when you're sitting there, like I have students that have had kids, and I told them, I said, listen, and I'll ask them, how your baby doing? Oh, he bad. Don't say that. Speak life into him.
Yeah, don't say that.
Care.
I don't like that.
But people say it. And you'll talk about your kids. You'll say things and think you're being funny because that's what happened when we were growing up. But that don't make it right. Because those things, you speak those words out into the environment, that's what carries on. And I tell people all the time, our baby's going to make mistakes. They're not going to be the perfect children. But guess what? You need to be their biggest advocate. And your parenting styles and the things that you choose to for them to be around, that influence them, the people, your friends, the music you listen to, the places that you go, your neighborhood, where you let them go after school, all those things affect your parenting, affect that kid's growth. And so you need to look at that. Are you that type of parent that's always saying yes because they're going to wear you down? Is that your parenting style until they, no, you got to look at all of that. So I just want to challenge parents this week to just take a look. Next time you have a conversation with your kid, just try the whole week. Look at your parenting style and see where you can make some adjustments.
I love you too, Keisha.
And drop us a line.
I love you too, Keisha, but whatever.
Okay.
What you just said.
Well, good. I get it. But
No. I agree with all of the parenting styles, and we need to do that for our kids. What I don't agree with is Will and Jada's kids. I don't see them as bad kids.
Okay, well
I just see them as kids that were raised a different way.
Girl, I just talked about your parenting style. It's not effective. Their son is not being productive. He's not being effective in the environment. Period. To himself. No, to himself. And that's the bottom line, period. Everybody has a purpose. God gives you one. There's things that you intended to do. And I want every child, especially my own, to live to that full potential. I can look at kids, like, for example, I have a girlfriend where, her son can be his own person. He does things a certain way, and people look at him and be like, oh, well, no, listen, just get to learn them. And then the friends are going to come, and opportunities going to come, and those are the things that you support. And Will even said it himself. They stepped back, all the way back, and was like, listen, we're going to let you kind of, make your own decisions and roll your way through it. If that was the case, we wouldn't have stages in development.
But they're good. I don't see anything wrong with his kids. Right. I really don't. See, and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking,
because I don't want to go there.
No, but don't go there. But I don't see anything wrong with his kids. Okay. Yes, they have a different way that they think, but I don't see anything wrong with his productiveness to you. He's productive for himself. No. I don't have to pay for him to do nothing. I don't have to take care of him. It's not my business as far as that goes, and I don't see anything that's illegal. I don't see anything that's harmful to the community.
All right.
I don't see it.
Well,
so
we're gonna let it go because I let you stick to the
two different point of views. Two different point of views, Stephanie.
All right. So I do have one question I want to leave you with. If you could change the world in 72 hours, what would you do? We're going to talk about that next week. Please drop us a line on our Facebook, our Instagram. What would you do if you had 72 hours to change the world? And whatever you did was going to impact the entire world. What would you do? So we want to challenge you to ask you to drop us a line and share, of course. Share. We're trying to get to 1,000 listeners. We hope that you enjoyed this show. From the outhouse
to the penthouse, and don't call my phone.
Two different point of views with the same name. People stop. What they name is Keisha and Keisha. Keisha and Keisha. Oh, Keisha and Keisha.